Consider the case of two students appearing for the examination. One answers fast, completes the examination, give the answer sheets and leave. The second one, looking at the question, thinking a lot, then write the answers carefully. After completing the answer book, reads again and confirming it. Both answers are right and both students are intelligent and answers seems to be completely okay. And this is what we try to discuss in today's episode of Truly AI on ChatGPT and Claude. At the end of the session, you will understand what way ChatGPT differ from Claude and what makes it different and which situations we could be able to use either of them, and if you have a specific task, how to choose the AI tool, and most importantly, the way the AI is evolved in these days. I am Dr. C.B. Abraham. Let us start with a simple test. Here we have both ChatGPT and Claude. We try to look at simple one prompt and try to see what the different responses these two AIs provide for the same prompt. Here is the simple prompt. Write an email politely declining a job offer. First, we give this to ChatGPT. And here is the response. Dear hiring manager, thank you very much for offering me the position. I sincerely appreciate the time and effort that and your team invested throughout the recruitment process. After careful consideration, I have decided to decline the offer at this time. This was not an easy decision as I was genuinely impressed, etc. It looks to be very formal, very structured. Paragraphs have been separated and each idea is put it in that paragraph, and that way it is very organized, structured response. And let us move to Claude. We give the same prompt. Yes, here is the response. Dear hiring manager, thank you very much for offering me the position at your company. I truly appreciated the time you and your team spent getting to know me throughout the interview process. After careful consideration, I have decided to decline the offer. This was not an easy decision as I have a great deal of respect for the work your team is doing. However, I have chosen to pursue an opportunity that more closely aligns with my current career goals, etc. It's nice. It looks more like we human being write a email declining the job offer, and both are correct. Nothing is wrong with either of them, and there will be proponents who take ChatGPT's response as better one, and there will be some of you who may be preferring that the Claude could be able to give the response much better than the other one. This is about generation. Generation looks to be same, but most importantly, what is the thinking, the reasoning happened behind that makes these two AI models differ. Consider the case of an insurance claim. Suppose the analyst analyzes the claim and corresponding three relevant dates. First is the hospital visit, the date is January 5th. Second, the policy started January 10th and the claim submitted January 12th. If all other things are fine, the question is that whether to accept or reject the claim. Look at the dates: January 5th, January 10th and January 12th. And if it is a human analyst and corresponding looks at the constraints, conditions, and correspondingly first looking at the policy date, that is the 10th January, then hospital visit 5th January and the claim submitted 12th January. That means when the patient visited the hospital, the policy was not started. Therefore, at that time there was no insurance. Therefore, this particular claim has to be rejected. Yes, of course, this type of reasoning could be able to be done by both the later versions of GPT and the Claude, but the way in which the reasoning is done differs in both the cases. GPT tries to reason fast and come with the solution, but the Claude makes it more time, very cautious. Each time it confirms with respect to its constitutional AI and defined principles whether that process is right or wrong, and correspondingly it may be taking some time, but that process is slow and it is very cautiously giving the reasoning. In this case, both answers may be right, there won't be much issue or there won't be much of a difference. But when we have a highly complex reasoning cases, and that difference gradually increases. Here is a big document. You could call it as a business document or a legal document. Suppose I want to send it to my client. Before they read, I want to have someone to go through it carefully, give the feedback and to give proper advices. I am looking for a consultant who is a domain expert in this. For such matters, many professionals use GPT in order to create the first draft and use Claude in order to review it. It is not because of one is superior than the other, because both are structured, made or organized for different purposes. The GPT, the whole purpose is to generate fast. Based on the prompt, it tries to provide the responses fast. The whole purpose of Claude is not to just give the generation, but to check it, whatever the response it is going to provide is correct and it is worthwhile, and whether it is matching with the principles enshrined in its constitution called constitutional AI. Therefore, it is a good practice to use GPT to create the first draft and use Claude in order for proper reviewing, because both these AI models are made for separate purposes. Here we have two jars. Suppose we call it as the jar for doing activities which could be able to be done by GPT, and this one corresponding to the Claude. Therefore, here we have a number of standard simple tasks you do in a typical office environment. Let us see how we will be able to use these AI models effectively based on the task we do. Let us start with image generation. The image generation could be able to be done by GPT, and therefore this go over here. Then the code review purpose means it has to be analyzed very nicely to find any issues in over there. This type of task could be able to be done nicely by Claude. Then careful feedback, yes, similar to earlier one. In order for the careful feedback, identifying any issues, etc., for that Claude is better. Then long document, the Claude could be able to deal with long document, and this work could be able to be done better by Claude. Data analysis could be able to be done easily by GPT. Voice conversations, yes, it could be able to be done by GPT. Then quick productivity task, faster responses could be able to be provided by GPT. Then reasoning could be able to be done by better way by Claude. Then also we have certain tasks like coding, writing and web research, and these things could be able to be done either by GPT or Claude. Therefore, this distribution says that certain things could be able to be done by GPT or Claude nicely. There won't be much of a difference, but there are certain tasks which could be able to be done by GPT better. There are some tasks which could be able to be done better by Claude because they are conditioned that way. In order to get a faster responses or something related with image, etc., it is better to use. But it involves detailed assessment, detailed feedback, much more reasoning is needed, and a long document to be used. At that time, we could be able to use Claude. For many years, people looked at AI as a competition. Which model is good and which model wins? Now that is gradually changing because AI models are developed with respect to certain strengths. One may be good at generating, other may be good at critiquing. One may be good at faster response, the other might be more reflective. And just like an organization having many specialists or experts, we could be able to have agents specializing in certain types of tasks. Therefore, we could be able to have not just one AI, but we will be having a team of AI which are specializing in certain things. Therefore, professionals might be looking at a scenario wherein which they could be able to use different AI agents corresponding to the task they are trying to solve. We started with the 2 students appearing for the examination. Same questions, but answers were different. The style of answering also different. Now, who is the winner? Whether GPT is the winner or Claude is the winner. GPT is not the winner and neither Claude is. The winner is the person who could be able to choose, identify and responsibly use which tool to be used corresponding to the requirement. Wish you all the very best. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video. Until then, truly AI.